Hi, I'm David Scharff. We're going to meditate together. So the practice that I'm going to be giving you is called Shi-Nay. Shi means peace, Nay means being or abiding. This is a foundational practice through all of the different kinds of practice that one can learn in Buddhism, or all the different kinds of meditation that you can learn in any tradition. There's one thing that's common, and it's this process of sitting and breathing and letting go. Okay, let's begin. First, I'm going to guide you through some steps so that you understand what you're doing and how you're doing it, and then we're just going to do it. So most important, to begin, you want to know that there are three things in every session of meditation. There's the motivation, there's the meditation, there's the dedication. So we can be motivated to benefit ourselves and say, I want to be happier, I want to be free from tension, I want to relax, I want to get better sleep, lower blood pressure. We can have motivations that benefit ourselves, and all of that is good. Or we can have a broader motivation to benefit others, to not just sit for ourselves, but to benefit others. So in this way, we learn to let go of grasping at ourselves by opening our mind to the benefit of others. And we think, other people are just like me in that we all want to be happy. We all want to be free of suffering. There isn't anybody alive, nice or nasty, who doesn't want to wake up and be happy that day. So what we do is we set our mind to bring those other people into our heart and open our heart to others. We start by thinking of the people that we love and that we cherish, and we formulate that wish, I want these people to be happy, to be free of suffering. We open our heart, breathe in, think of the people that we love, and hold them in that wish for their happiness. And we hold that for a moment. And then you go on to other people, the people that they love, their circle, their family, their friends. The people that we love have their own circle of people that they love. We think about them. We say, oh, this broader circle of people, all of them are just like me. They just want to be happy. They want to be free of suffering. So you bring them into your heart. And in your mind, you bring them literally into your heart. You open your heart and hold these people in your heart. And you hold them in the wish for their happiness, in the wish that they be free of suffering. And then you take it one step farther. You say, there are all these people that I don't know, beings that I don't know. There's 7.5 billion people on the planet, countless billions of animals. All of them wake up in the morning wanting to be happy, wanting to be free of suffering. So we just open our mind as vast as we can. We think all the beings on this planet want happiness just like me. They want to be free of suffering just like I do, just like I want for the people that I love. So I'm going to open my heart and take the whole world in, the whole world into my heart, and make that wish. Even the people I don't like, even the things that I don't like, the beings, the creatures, the humans that seem like they are terrible, I take them into my heart as well. They're worthy objects of compassion. So I think all the beings of the planet, good or evil, close or far, all of them deserve happiness, freedom from suffering. You take a deep breath in. Exhale and relax. You make this altruistic motivation for our practice. It expands the practice beyond just ourself, beyond just the wish for our own benefit. It expands it, it opens our heart. It's the first step in learning to let go, is to open our heart to others with love and with compassion. So that's the motivation. That's the first part of practice session. The second part is the meditation. In Tibetan, the word gom is meditation, and in one way it means to meditate like we understand. In another way it means to grow accustomed to get used to. So one of the things that we're doing is getting accustomed to being in a state of presence and rest, presence and calm, peace. So the practice is called Shi-Nay, and Shi means peace, Nay means abiding or being. So we're learning how to be in peace. And we take a few steps to get there so that we understand where we're going with it, and then we just rest. So the first step is that we learn how to let go of body, speech, and mind. We learn how to break the habit of motion, break the habit of creating sound, expression, break the habit of clinging to the objects of perception and to the self as the perceiver. So with our body, we're letting go of the body so that it can come and settle naturally into its own state. The natural state of the body is rest, stillness. But we're always in motion. Our habit is to be in motion. It's such a strong habit that even at night when we're asleep, we're in motion, we're moving, we're tossing, we're turning. So when we meditate, we're sitting, and in a wakeful state, we're letting the body settle into rest, into stillness. So spine is straight, hands are resting. We kind of straighten the spine all the way up, tuck the chin in just a little bit so that the spine is straight, going right up to the base of the skull. You can feel the top of your head lined up with your spine. And in this tradition, you leave your eyes open. It doesn't have to be wide open, just slightly open so that you can see light, so that you can see the space around you. So sitting, hands resting, spine straight, chin tucked, eyes open, and you part your lips and teeth just enough that you could breathe through, because all of the 5 sense doors are open. So you can see, you can hear, you can smell, you can taste, and you can feel touch. All of the sense doors are open. So we're sitting, spine straight, hands resting, chin tucked, eyes open, teeth and lips parted. And the last point of the posture is to touch the tip of your tongue to the roof of the mouth, right where it would be if you say L, L. And this is the best posture to start in. It doesn't mean you have to hold this posture through the whole practice. You don't want to be rigid, you want to be comfortable. But it's a great posture to start in. The 7-point posture is important because it allows all of the energy to be balanced in the body. It allows the subtle body to be calm. So we start this way. If you're sitting on the floor, cross your legs with your right leg in front. Rest your hands either in your lap or on your legs. Straighten your spine. Tuck your chin. Eyes open, looking gently right in front of you, either at a spot on the floor or the space in front of you. Teeth and lips parted. Tongue touching the roof of the mouth. Take a deep breath in. Let go and relax. You let your breath flow naturally. So you're just sitting in stillness, breathing naturally. Not holding the breath, not forcing the breath. Just breathing naturally, like waves hitting the shore, just naturally flowing in and out. Might be a deep breath, might be a shallow breath. But you're sitting still, spine straight, you're breathing naturally. Stillness and silence. So in doing that, you're letting go of grasping at the body and moving it, keeping it in motion. You're letting go of grasping at the breath by modifying or altering the breath. You're letting go of the act of expressing oneself through speech, just sitting in stillness and silence. You're letting everything come to rest naturally. You're not trying to do something. You're not trying to let go. You're letting go of trying. Relaxing. So with body, it's easy to know if you're settling into stillness. With speech, it's easy to know if you're resting in silence. With mind, it's a little more subtle. How do we let go of grasping with the mind? The habit of the mind is to grasp. It's to grasp at the idea of a self being separate from other. So we're holding this division of self and other, subject and object, as being different. And that's an illusion. That difference is an idea. It's not reality. We're not separate from anything that we're perceiving. The act of perception is a kind of connection. The self is an idea. And so the division between self and other is an idea. It's not real, this division. So in order to let go of our idea of self being separate from other, we have to look at how the mind works to create that division. When we are looking out into the world, we're seeing, we're hearing, we're feeling temperature, taste, smell. When we're perceiving everything around us, the five senses come together into this experience of the present moment. So the mind, which is sometimes called the sixth sense, is where all of the five senses gather together, and we have this experience of the present moment. So that mind that gathers together the five senses, the mind of perception, is what we perceive the whole world through. Sometimes called the coarse mind. It's the mind through which we perceive the physical world, our whole environment. And then there's the subtle mind that takes that information that we've gathered from our senses and interprets it. It puts labels on it. It says wall, floor, light, dark, red, blue. It gives names to what we're perceiving: cold, hot, sweet, sour. So this subtle mind interprets the five senses and then just makes decisions: good, bad, like, dislike, better, worse. And it divides everything that we're perceiving into these extremes. So that's the beginning of the mental process through which we create our own confusion, by taking what we're perceiving and then by interpreting it and applying the label of good or bad, like or dislike. We start dividing everything into these experiences of the extremes of like or dislike. So that's what happens. Outwardly, we're looking at objects of the senses, and inwardly, we're making a decision about whether or not we like it. Whatever we like, we want to pull towards us. Whatever we don't like, we want to avoid, push away from us. And those two motions of the mind, pushing and pulling, attachment and aversion, that's what creates the waves of karma. Pushing and pulling, attachment and aversion, because we've applied these layers of interpretation of the five senses. And then within our subtle mind, what we're doing is we're making decisions. So the subtle mind gets very busy with these thoughts, the labels, what we like, what we don't like. The memory comes in and gives us the information that we need to make these judgments. If what we're perceiving is something that we've always liked, we like it again and we're drawn towards it. If what we're perceiving is something that has given us pain or suffering in the past, then we experience the memory of that pain and we move away from it. This attachment and aversion is the movement of the mind. So memory becomes part of the present moment. It doesn't exist in the past. It becomes part of how we judge what we're perceiving. And then we start to plan and look towards the future. What do we want? We want to move towards what we like. We want to move away from what we don't like. And we want to keep that going. We perceive something, we label it, we judge it based on our memories, and then we move in a direction towards the future of being with what we like and avoiding what we don't like. All of this goes on in a split second. In the minute of perception, all of this labeling, reference of memory, aspiration for a future direction, all of this happens in a second. Once we know what we're dealing with, the coarse mind of perception and the subtle mind of interpretation, then we can observe it without attachment. Then we can really start to let go of the mind's habit of grasping itself and other, moving towards what we want, moving away from what we don't want. So as we're observing outwardly, we are also observing inwardly. And we see the subject and its likes and dislikes, and we see the objects as the source of those decisions. So how do we let go of this grasping at self and other as being two separate things, subject and object, perceiver and perceived? How do we let go of this deep habit of clinging to these extremes? So we do this gently, meaning it's a shift of focus. It's as if we're looking at the objects through a window. We shift our focus from what we're looking at through the window to the lens of the window. So right now we're perceiving everything through the space around us. Without the space around us, the light of what we see wouldn't be able to reach our eyes. Without the space around us, we wouldn't hear the sound waves coming to our ears. So everything that we perceive through this medium of the space all around us. The space around us is how we perceive. But we never pay attention to it because there's nothing to see in space. There's nothing to hear in space. It's silent. So we don't notice it at all. And through not noticing it, looking right through it, we become fixated on the objects of the senses. So when we're sitting and breathing, we're meditating, we just shift our attention. This is the reason why we have our eyes open. We shift our attention from what we're looking at to the space we're looking through. Whatever we're hearing to the space that we're hearing through. We're not stopping anything. We're not trying to block out what we're perceiving. We're not trying to stop thought. We're not trying to stop the labeling. We're not trying to stop the decision of whether we like something or don't. We're just trying to observe it. Outwardly, we observe it by shifting our focus to the space through which we perceive. And even though there's nothing that we can perceive in the space, so we can't look at space, we can notice that we're looking through space and bring our focus to the space we're looking through. We shift our focus to the space we're hearing through. So whatever we see, whatever we hear, whatever we're feeling or smelling, with our lips and teeth parted, whatever we might taste, shift our focus from the objects of the senses to the space through which we're perceiving. And take a deep breath in. And exhale slowly. And relax. If we let go of body, it settles naturally into stillness. We let go of speech, we let our breath flow naturally in and out without modifying it. Not holding, not forcing. We let go of grasping with the coarse mind, the mind of perception, by shifting our focus to the space through which we perceive. Inwardly, we're shifting our focus from the thoughts, the recollections, the anticipation, all of the interpretation of the present moment that we're going through. We're shifting our focus from those thoughts to the space in which the thoughts move, the space in which the thoughts arise, move, and dissolve. It's just like the sky. Clouds don't come from any place else other than the sky. They don't move anywhere else but in the sky, and they don't go and dissolve anywhere else but into the sky. The same is true of our thoughts. They arise in the space of our mind, they move through the space of our mind, and they dissolve back into the space of our mind. Instead of being fixated on those thoughts and how they move, we shift our focus to that openness, the space in which they arise, move, and dissolve. Just like looking at a cloud in the sky, we can shift our focus from the cloud that's in the sky to the sky that the cloud is in. It's just the subtlest shift. So we shift our focus from the thoughts that arise in our mind to the space in which they arise. Let the breath flow naturally. Whatever arises in the sense fields, just let them be. Shift your focus to the space through which you're perceiving. Whatever thoughts arise in reaction to what you're perceiving, just observe them arising, moving, dissolving. Don't try to follow after the thoughts. As soon as you find that you're following after them, as soon as you notice that you're following after your thoughts, take a deep breath in. Exhale slowly. Shift your focus to the space in which the thoughts arise and let go. Relax. Sitting and breathing, observing the space around you, the space in which thoughts move. Breath flowing naturally. And periodically you just scan through any tensions in the body, let go. The breath flowing naturally, spine is straight, looking at the space around you, noticing the space through which you perceive, noticing the openness of your mind in which thoughts arise. Letting these two aspects of mind rest in space. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. Come to rest. A technique within this stillness is that when you exhale, come to rest at the bottom of the breath. Just stay there for a moment, even if it's just a few seconds at first. So you inhale deeply, you exhale slowly, and you come to rest at the bottom of the breath. Not with your air forced out, just where you feel comfortable. At the bottom of the breath, you rest for a moment before you inhale again. Just rest there comfortably for a few seconds. It can grow to longer periods of time, but at first, you just rest there as long as it's comfortable. As soon as you feel the need to inhale again, you inhale again. So you're not forcing it, you're not holding your breath out. But you learn to let yourself come to rest at that place at the bottom of the breath for as long as it's comfortable. And in that space between breaths, the bottom of the exhalation before you inhale again, feel what that feels like, that stillness, so still that you're not even breathing in or out. Just feel that stillness of that moment between breaths. Sitting with the spine straight, chin tucked, eyes open, teeth and lips parted, tongue touching the roof of the mouth. You're going to inhale deeply, exhale slowly, and rest at the bottom of the breath. Inhale. Exhale. And rest. And you're inhaling again as soon as you need to, but each time that you come to rest at the bottom of the breath, just take a moment to notice, even if it's only a few seconds, take a moment to notice what that feels like. That moment of peace, that's how you're letting go. Letting go of body, it settles into stillness. Letting go of breath, it flows naturally. Letting go of clinging to the idea of self being separate from other by shifting your focus from the objects of the senses to the space through which you perceive. Shifting your focus from the thoughts of self, recollecting, interpreting, anticipating, to the openness in which thoughts arise. Inhaling and exhaling, resting our mind in those inner and outer spaces until at the bottom of the breath we experience complete stillness. And we grow used to, accustomed to resting there. That's the practice. Dedication. We started with motivation, we did meditation. Dedication just means that you're taking all of the positive energy that you've created by meditating for the benefit of others. It's not just the benefit of meditating for yourself, because those benefits accrue. You do have lower blood pressure, you do get more relaxed, but the benefits of meditating for the benefit of others, that's so much more vast. That altruistic intention expands the field of merit. Positive energy, good karma, expands that field as wide as you can open your mind. That's why we start with that shift of focus away from self to other. Then we practice letting go of self over and over, letting go with each breath. And then at the end, we take whatever positive energy we've created through doing this for the benefit of others, and we give it to them. In our imagination, we give all of that positive energy away. We say, whatever merit is accumulated from this practice, or all the merit I'll ever attain, this I offer for the welfare of others. May they be free of suffering. May they find happiness. May their minds grow calm. May they move towards their own liberation. We make that wish for the benefit of others. May all of this merit go to them. Give it away. That's the practice. Thank you.